It's Filter Free Friday, y'all. I'm glad y'all here. You know, this week, one of my girlfriends, she asked a question that I thought was just so intellectually stimulating. I could hardly wait to get on here on Friday. And it's the Friday after Martin Luther King's holiday. And she said basically this: what do people think Martin Luther King was doing in the 5 years after the March on Washington and the I Have a Dream speech? 5 years? Listen, one of the reasons why I'm so patient with white people when they don't know black history is because I don't know black history. I don't know why. I don't know where I got it. But for some reason, I felt like Martin was murdered and assassinated right after he had given the I Have a Dream speech. I felt like the work that he was doing in Tennessee with basically the Poor People's Campaign was right after. That was 5 years later. Selma was after. And so some of y'all know, because y'all follow me on Facebook too, that one of the participants in my audience at a session, just one person, said that they thought I was unprofessional and racist, and they preferred a Martin that was a message, a positive message, more like Martin's, that says, you know, content of character and not based on skin color. And here's what's interesting. I am so grateful that Martin Luther King has a greater than 90% approval rating today. But what we need to understand is that Martin Luther King was super young, y'all. When the bus boycott started, Martin Luther King was 26 years old, and he was murdered, assassinated at 39. That's only like 13 years worth of work. When someone has only done 13 years worth of work, 5 years, that's like 40% of the time. That's a significant part of that person's work. And so I'm not the first to say this, and I'm sure I won't be the last, but we have fallen in love with a Martin, just like we have fallen in love with a Jesus. That's just not an accurate perception. Jesus was a social justice warrior, and Martin was a social justice warrior. And so sometimes when people say I'm more like Malcolm and less like Martin, baby, I don't know. Because my girl said to me, she was like, girl, you need to get this book called Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community. Well, she didn't even tell me. She just mentioned it. And it wasn't supposed to come till this morning. It came yesterday, and I done blew off all my little responsibilities reading this thing. But let me just point out a couple of the chapter titles. One is Black Power. Another one is Racism and the White Backlash. And in it already, here's what I need y'all to know. I'm old. I'm not young. We keep saying 40 is the new 20. No, baby, no, it's not. 40 is the new 40. No. Hang around 20-year-olds and you'll very quickly realize you're 40. And so I say that because people, when you get to be older, you start to worry about things like your houses and your cars and your kids and your sustainability and your legacy. And so you start saying less things that will cause people to like you. I don't even have time to think about my own stuff. Other people be worried about it. They be like, girl, what you doing this Filter Free Friday? Don't be saying that. What's that going to do to your business? I'm telling y'all, some white people only learn listening to these things. So I got to be honest and truthful. And I'm not a social justice warrior. Half this stuff Martin say, there ain't no way I would have said it, because it's just not even my girl. I got to pull out. Listen, so I am on my own journey to being more courageous, to help us tear down these systems of oppression. And part of the reason we won't work together, Martin has outlined it in this book to try to get us to see it, because he had grown incredibly tired. He had grown incredibly tired of us, baby. Incredibly tired. Now, y'all know my little Chiefs, they done made it to the Super Bowl. I'm still with Cap. But my Chiefs, they done made it to the Super Bowl. They done made it. They done broke my heart my whole life, and they done made it. I'm whispering because I know what y'all do at the games here in Kansas City. When the Chiefs score, y'all get to doing that tomahawk chop. Now, I just want to be your friend, baby. If ain't nobody told you, don't go down to Miami and be on national TV doing a tomahawk chop. It's culturally insensitive. We should have never started doing it. We should have gotten rid of it when we got rid of the chief as the mascot and switched to the wolf. Now, if don't nobody else tell you, don't say I didn't tell you. Okay? Love you, sugar. It's filter free Friday, baby. We got work to do.